I can't believe this, but ProQ4 has actually just come out. I didn't expect this to happen. I've been using ProQ3 for a number of years, and the reason why I use it is because I think it's the best EQ plugin on the market. The reason I thought ProQ3 was the best was simply because it had a very, very low latency, an incredible GUI, and really it has very low CPU overhead, and it can basically do anything you want in a EQ. So it got me thinking, what can Q4 have? Because I thought Q3 already had everything, but I was absolutely surprised by what this thing could do. Now, this is not absolutely everything. Guys, go into the description to find out much more detail, but I'm going to talk about some of the new features right now, and I hope you guys like it because I think it's great. So the first thing that's really obvious and that I just noticed as soon as I got the thing was these kind of ghost curves. You can see these like light white curves floating around. Basically, if you see the shape there, that's the shape you're going to get if you click on screen. So we've got a bell curve here. Just click on the screen and there it appears. You can do the same thing down here, get another curve. Yeah, so it basically follows the shape of the curve. And what that means is once you get used to this, you can get some really fast curves and EQ shapes. The other thing you can do, which is super cool, is you can actually draw the curve in. So if you basically want to draw a curve, say like this, there you go. Or you can draw a curve that looks something like this. So that's super cool. It's something I didn't expect, but it's another thing that makes ProQ4 really efficient. It still has linear phases, natural phase, and zero latency, but I'm telling you, the thing has very, very low latency. And even on natural phase, where you can use the CPU a little bit more, it still really doesn't make a huge difference to the overall project. So one of the most amazing things about Q4 is where you can see all of the instances of every Q, basically. So you can see here, it's looking at the EQ of all of the instances of ProQ4 that have been placed on every track. And you can actually just scroll here using, so if you say have 100 tracks, this makes it really useful to go ahead and scroll. And then you can tweak and change any of these shapes, and you can do all sorts of stuff to the shapes, change the shape, the slope, stereo placement, all within this single view. The other thing you could do is you can click on this little button here called collision instances, so you can easily see the collisions against this track that are appearing on all of the other tracks. So let's just go back and we'll just listen to a bit of this track now. So you can see here, there's some collisions here. So that means we could just simply go ahead and just perhaps lower the EQ there. Lower a bit on this one here. The other thing that is really useful are the pinning buttons. So say, for example, you wanted to compare your bass track with your kick track, which is this one here. You can just filter out the two that you've pinned, and then you can compare them to each other. Let's go back into the main mode. So let's just simply delete everything we've got already. So one thing that's new and I think is really useful, and I don't know why it was never there before, is the copy paste feature. Say you like this shape here, you can just right click on it, you can click copy. Let's delete this and let's just click on paste, and there it is again. And this works on everything. So say, for example, we go back into this mode here, we can go ahead and delete everything and paste that shape here. So that's a super useful thing. The good thing about pasting shapes is then you can reverse them completely the opposite direction. That will help you avoid certain frequency clashes. Now, the other thing that's really useful is if you right click on this notch here and click on make spectral, what that will do is we'll select that section there, but within that section, instead of changing the gain for the whole band, what it will do is trigger per specific frequencies within the band. So if it exceeds a certain threshold, leaves the other frequencies untouched. So this is a really cool way to treat certain problem frequencies. Let's check it out. Let's make it spectral. We can close the Q or increase the Q. Let's increase it a little bit. You can see there it's only affecting certain frequencies. So that's super cool. And also it's a massive time saver because you would typically need more complex plugins for this type of processing. So I think it's just genius. The other thing that's new is this coloring. So basically you've got these three options: clean, subtle, and warm. Basically subtle is a bit more of a vintage analog sound, and warm is more of a tube dynamic sound. But finally, I wanted to show you guys the presets manager. Now with ProQ3, I did use a lot of presets because they were just so super useful. But in version 4, they've definitely changed the presets and they've made them more specific to instruments or to situations. So if you need a surround sound or if you need a mix bus. But if you do miss your presets for V3, they do have the old preset folder there. And as I said, there's a lot more features in this. All of it will be cut and paste into the description. And if you've got any questions about it, definitely post them in the comments so we can all see the questions and maybe all of us can help answer those questions.